So we all know what happened with last year's Galaxy Note. Samsung skipped the number 6, went straight to 7, stuffed the phone to the brims, rushed its release, and then, yeah, you know the rest. Since then, Samsung's been looking to win a lot of people's hearts back with commercials, the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus, and even releasing a refurbished Note 7 in the form of the FE for those that truly loved that phone. And now here we are in 2017. Samsung's out to not only embrace and own up to their mistakes, but to prove that the Note is back and better than ever with the Galaxy Note 8. But with this, a number of questions rise up. The biggest ones being, is it really that great of a phone, and is it worth it? Now we ask if it's worth it because this year we're seeing an all-time high price tag for the Galaxy Note, which starts around $930 to $950. Yes, it really is dang near $1,000. But what exactly do you get for that price tag? This phone better make me breakfast in the morning, take my kids to school, and airplane mode better let me fly, right? Yeah, well, not exactly. In fact, a lot of, if not most people are calling this the Galaxy S8 Plus Plus. Can't say I blame them. All the S8 Plus comparisons will have to wait for another video, and Samsung didn't exactly make it easy for us to put these two phones side by side and not call them extremely similar. So with the Note 8, you're getting a 6.3-inch AMOLED Infinity display, complete with that 18.5:9 aspect ratio, and my gosh, is it gorgeous. It is officially, as of now, the best display on any smartphone. It's also the brightest display, clocking in at a current record 1200 nits, making outdoor usage that much better and easier. But yes, it's a very large, bright and crisp display, which makes it great for everything. Watching videos, playing games, browsing social media, and of course, multitasking. As expected, Samsung did a great job fitting this giant screen into the body of a phone that's not only super high quality, it's also not as big as you may expect. Here it is next to an iPhone 7 Plus for reference. While it is just a tad taller than the 7 Plus, it is more narrow, which makes the phone feel much less beefy in your hand, and obviously the Note 8 has the much larger display. And here it is next to its closest relative, the S8 Plus, and as you can see, there's not that big of a difference at all. And while we're talking about the hardware, the phone is nothing short of premium. It's got an extremely solid feel in the hand, the phone is more squared off, which I actually prefer, and it's got the same glass and polished metal build, which looks nice, but of course it falls victim to, yep, you guessed it, super easy scratches and fingerprints. I went with carbon fiber this time around, but with Black Dragon being a thing, I'll probably switch over to that one pretty soon. Easily my favorite D-brand skin. Link in the description. As far as features are concerned, these two came as no surprise, as it's got an IP68 dust and water resistance rating, expandable storage via micro SD, fast wireless charging, it's got the S Pen, dual cameras on the back accompanied by a fingerprint scanner, and yes, it has a headphone jack. But as for the standout features, you gotta talk about the S Pen and the dual cameras. With the S Pen, you get your usual Smart Select, Screen Write, and Screen Off memo functions. You can get a shortcut to the coloring feature using Pen Up, which takes full advantage of the improved S Pen tip. You can use the S Pen with Bixby Vision to help identify and search for different things on your screen. You can use it to help you translate words on the fly. This is a super useful feature. And there's also this new gimmicky live message feature where you can send your friends and family GIFs or GIFs of a quick memo with different colors and pen sizes. And of course, the S Pen really shines when you're writing, coloring, or drawing with it. Every year, Samsung makes improvements to it, and the experience just gets better and better. Writing feels very solid and natural, and coloring brings out a rush of nostalgia. It kind of makes me want to channel my inner child and just color everything. There are other things that this phone has I really don't feel the need to get too deeply into, like Bixby and the Bixby button. You already know how we feel about that. The biometric security options, which do work pretty well actually, but I never found myself using them. There's the fingerprint reader location still placed in that awkward spot, only this time the heart rate monitor and the flashlight in between the camera and the scanner, yeah, it doesn't make it any better. While there is a headphone jack, thank goodness, we still get this bottom firing speaker, which actually sounds better than I was expecting. They definitely went in and added some bass in there, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's still a bottom firing speaker though. But as for other software features, there really isn't anything to write home about. Sure, you've got the ability to open up 2 applications at once into multi-window mode, which is a very useful feature, don't get me wrong, but if your device is running 7.0 or higher, you can easily get this feature using an app called Split Screen Creator, so there goes that. Mostly everything else is stuff we've seen on the S8. Now what we don't see on the S8 is a dual camera setup, and this is one of the few things that the Note 8 really has going for it. You're looking at dual 12 megapixel shooters that are both optically stabilized, and this definitely helps with shaky hands when taking video. So now what does this secondary lens get you exactly? 2x optical zoom. At 52 millimeters, this also allows you to take advantage of the new live focus mode, which basically uses both cameras to give you that portrait look with that bokeh effect we all know and love. And while it works pretty well, and I do like how you can adjust the blur before and after you take the shot, I kind of wish Samsung went with a wide angle lens instead, like LG's been doing. The main and selfie cameras are nothing too special. In fact, they're pretty much the same as the ones found on the S8, which is something I was afraid would happen because the S8's main camera is basically the S7's camera with a few tweaks. But overall, shots do come out looking nice, bright, crisp, and vibrant as always. It goes without saying that the Note 8 has one of the best sets of cameras out there right now. Now in terms of performance, the Note 8 is great. Snapdragon 835, Adreno 540, and 6 GB of RAM. As expected, everything I do on a smartphone as a power user is handled with no problem at all. Everything is smooth and quick, and the additional 2 GB of RAM really does help. But of course, as it is with pretty much any Samsung device, we'll see how this performance holds up over time. Something that I wasn't too excited about was its 3300 mAh battery, which is 200 mAh smaller than the S8 Plus's battery. I mean, it makes sense in that the Note 7's battery was also 3500 milliamps, but still 3300 just seems pretty small for a phone this large. But in the time that I've been using this phone, I've gotten an average of 5 to 6 hours of screen on time with LTE and Bluetooth always enabled, 75 to 90% brightness, and maxed out screen resolution. So while that's not bad by any means, it would have been nice if it could have at least matched my S8 Plus's 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. So overall, the Note 8 is a great phone and I really enjoy using it. But as our very own David Ruddock said, the Note 8 is the beginning of the end of the Note, at least as we knew it. Because it's so similar to its older relative, it's lost a lot of its charm, a lot of what made it stand out. And as for recommending it to consumers, well, that's where the hesitation kicks in, mainly because of that price. If you are a Note lover, I'd say go for it. If you're looking for a big phone with a great screen, lots of features, and great cameras, there are other options out there for sure. But if it's gotta be a Note, I'd wait for a while for that price to drop a bit. But don't get it twisted, it's still a Note. It's still a beast. It will still be one of the best phones on the market for a long time, and all things considered, I'd still use this over any other phone that's out right now. So what do you guys think of the Galaxy Note 8? Will you be picking one up? Let us know by dropping your comments down below. As always, we'd love to hear your feedback. But anyway, that does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the Android Police channel if you haven't already. That does it for me. I'll talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching.